Hey guys, it's Ryan. I'm here to do a war recap of our war win number 133 versus Lithium Ion. So this first attack will be against number 6, and it's my attack. It's a new Town Hall 10 with 1 Infernal Tower set to single. And this is basically a max attack with modification of adding a P.E.K.K.A. Down to center so that I could take out that Infernal Tower as quick as possible. So here I drop 2 golems, and I have some funneling minions on the side, and a couple wizards as well. The clan castle comes out, I drop my poison on them, and my heroes down, and I'm just basically hoping that my golems take the damage. I see that the Infernal Tower has started targeting my golems. I drop a rage to help take down that dragon and the CC, and a freeze to take down that entire compartment, including the Inferno. I get the wizards to come in. They take out everything in that compartment. I rage my Barb King as soon as he gets targeted by the Queen. And then right here, I start my La Lune attack. Okay, so there's only 2 air defenses left, so I dropped 2 of my hounds at first, and I dropped a few loons in just to clean up behind them. I noticed that my Queen is probably going to take out that last air defense there, so I dropped my 3rd hound on that middle air defense. I don't need it extra hounds anymore, so at this point we're just doing cleanup and just waiting for things to happen, dropping loons here and there. I actually forgot about that air sweeper until the very end. That kind of screwed up my raid a little bit after looking at the replay, but it didn't really matter here. And luckily, I still had that golem on the right side and the P.E.K.K.A. in order to handle that Tesla on the right side. That hound lasts forever. It doesn't seem like the enemy really had any of his air bombs upgraded, so didn't get that hound to pop, so that kind of sucks, but didn't really matter here. Alright, now the second attack is also one of my attacks versus number 7. This is their highest level Town Hall 9, and it's a standard max attack. So I send in 2 columns on the side where the Queen and 2 air defenses are, so I can take out all 3 of those. I send in wizards on the edges in order to funnel, and actually I break the inner compartment and the intermediate compartment. I left the outside wall in order for my wall breakers to break. Now you see I have to wait for that elixir storage to go down before I drop my wall breakers, and actually I had timed my wall breakers really terribly. The mortar hit it perfectly, but it didn't really matter, the wall still came down. I'm going to be dropping my rage, there we go, so that the wizards can take more things out. I'm going to be using my Barb King ability right there, plus the heal at the same time, so that the barbarians that come out of that are healed. And then I immediately after the 2 air defenses go down, I drop my hounds. This one's pretty simple. I just send in my loons behind the hounds. I drop a haste to get them jumping into the core as fast as possible so they can take out that air defense. And then I send in my last hound just to cover that last piece of air defense, and then I drop balloons behind them just to clean up. You'll see that my Queen is still alive. This usually happens with max attack because you have 2 golems protecting your heroes, and the Queen will usually last the entire raid, if not most of the raid. And she'll help clean up the core, which is great because the loons have protection the entire time. And now just for some cleanup. Alright, so the next attack will be David's attack. He's visiting us from Reddit Phoenix. And this is a Queen Walk goho. So you'll see him drop his Queen with a couple healers to keep them alive. But first here he's going to drop a little bit of funneling troops just to make sure that the queen doesn't go the wrong way that he wants, and also at the same time he does a little bit of luring of the CC because you don't want the queen getting distracted when she gets too far inside. So now she can take out the CC with the poison. The poison is important because it prevents the dragon from shooting you too quickly. It allows the queen to take it down without taking much damage. Gets a little bit lucky here. I think maybe he stopped paying attention as queen almost died. Uses his ability right then at the right time. Well, I would have done it a little bit earlier, but that's fine. There we go. He puts down his 2 golems to distract the queen, and 1 tester wall breaker just in case there are, any bombs there. There wouldn't be here, but there could be a building that's not targeting some of the golems. You always want to check. The Barb King goes down. He's doing well, and everything's going to go straight into the core now. And at this point, everything's as far in as they want it. He can start his goho. And there we go. That's his first set of hogs. And at this point, everything's targeting the kill squad in the core, so you don't really have to worry about hogs too much except for the bomb right there. On the far side, you'll need to worry a little bit. You have to use the heals, but everything in the center, they're already targeting the kill squad, so there's not much problem there. Now you'll see here what David does is he drops his wizards right behind the hogs, so that gives you a maximum cleanup time. And a lot of times when you get to the higher level Town Hall 9s, you run out of time. You do 98% or 99%. So it's really important to be able to drop your wizards as soon as you can. And right after you drop your hogs, there's some downtime. You don't need to drop a heal immediately, so it gives you some time to just drop 1 wizard, and then you do your next set of hogs, drop another wizard. And that's it. Now we just wait for the cleanup. Okay, so the next attack will be Lee's goho. This is pretty standard shattered goho. He drops 2 golems on both sides. In this case, he drops minions just to funnel on the edges. He doesn't waste his time with wizards. Minions take less space than wizards, so that's great. And of course, he's going to place his wizards just to make sure that everything does get cleaned up. Now it's a perfect funnel right to the core. And right here, what he wants to do is get all the way into the core, so he brings that 3rd golem, and with the jump, in order to get everything right into the core. He has high-level heroes, so that'll survive any CC that he sees. And once everything goes into the core and distracts, he can send him his hogs. So he does a little bit of mini Asian wall there. You see how he doesn't drop his heal until it gets past the first level of defenses. There's no reason to drop your heal immediately. You kind of waste your heal time. The hogs aren't really hurt at that point. Drops a couple wizards to clean up. So the wizards there can be dropped a little bit early if you like. Doesn't really make much of a difference in this raid because he has so many hogs. The good thing about using a shattered, or in this case a stoned, is that you just have so many golems in the core, it's distracting everything. So the hogs really do survive for a long time. The only thing you're worried about is spring traps, but here everything was next to each other. There's no real spring trap worry. queen is still alive at the end. Alright, so the next attack is David's goho again, this time without a queen walk, so it's a pretty normal goho. The great thing about this attack again is another example of him dropping his wizards right after his hogs go, and it just makes cleanup so much easier and saves a lot of time. So you'll see in this case he also uses minions as a little bit of funneling. It's not completely necessary because his minions are so far out, you don't need to funnel that wide, but he is dropping his golems a little bit further apart, so it's not that big of a deal. It's probably a good thing to funnel pretty wide. Drops his heroes down. Everything looks great. They're all going to the core. The Barb King targets the queen immediately. Drops his poison for the CC. And then the rage. So you want to do poison on the CC, then a rage to help everything clean up. It's the best way to do it. Everything's right into the core and starts distracting things. So he does a little bit of surgical on the side. And again, you don't need to drop the heal immediately. It can take out a few defenses before it needs to be healed. See, there we go. There's a wizard right there. There's a second wizard. There's a little bit of downtime because you know the hogs are going to survive for a while. You know there's a heal spell there. You have some time to drop your wizards. So he drops his back-end giant there to protect his back-end hogs. Does his last bit of hogs there. And he drops his last cleanup troops. Another great raid by David. Alright, the next great raid we've seen this war was Danielson. This is another goho. And it's a pretty standard shattered goho with a couple giants that he'll be using to distract. So he puts on his 2 golems, a little bit of funneling wizards. You gotta make sure your wizards come out pretty wide. Everything's perfect. Now he has 1 defense left. And the thing you have to be careful is make sure you open up the next compartment before the last defense that the golems are targeting get killed, because you don't know where they're going to go after that, and they might not retarget after you open up a wall. So you gotta make sure you open up that wall before the last defense goes down. Okay, so he drops in his giant to distract some point defenses, and then puts in some more hogs behind them. And again, here, he doesn't drop his heals immediately. He gives it some time. The hog group on the left, that was a little bit dangerous. I would have dropped it a little bit earlier, but I'm sure he was focusing on the bottom. Heal placement is really important with the higher level gohos, just because all the point defenses do so much damage. If your hogs aren't healed in the right place, you're wasting your heals. And remember, when you first send in hogs, they don't need to be healed immediately. They can take a few hits. Usually it's the first wave of defenses that they can completely take out before they'll need any healing. You see, even with perfect healing placement here, it still comes down to the wire. Just a little bit of cleanup left. Okay, so the last great attack that I'm recording for this recap is Fu's Govalo. That is a golem plus Valkyries, and back-end loons. So what he'll do is he'll send in his golems plus some funneling, and then the point of the Valkyries is to get right into the core and destroy everything. So because Valkyries have a little bit of splash damage, they can hit multiple buildings at once. It's really great against cores like this where all of the air defenses are right in the center. And then you just drop in back-end loons and nothing can kill it. So here, this is perfect for a barb drop. Fu is really great at this. You see how he just one barb, one barb, one barb. Always keep one barb up at a time. So right when the next one's about to get killed, he drops his next barb, next barb. He only needs 2 wizards. You can use 3 if you like, if you want to be a little bit faster. But barb drop lure is the best way to kill a dragon if you have lower level heroes and you can't kill them on your kill squad. So luring them to the side and then using barb drop. Saves the most troop space. Okay, here we go. So he rages his Valkyries and his kill squad right into the core. The nice thing about this is that the heroes will actually lure everything into the core, so he doesn't have to worry too much about funneling inside there. So he drops a couple heals inside, gives the Valkyries time to just clear up everything. And you'll see how much damage they do. The Valkyries last forever. Once he gets that last air defense, he can start dropping his loons. You see, he can do this with red loons. It's not even a big deal because he has only a few point defenses left that he's worried about, and he drops his loons to target those point defenses first, everything that hits the air. So you see he didn't drop loons on cannons. That's not really important, just the wizard towers and the archer towers. And at the same time, he's got his Valkyries in the core. You know, it's distracting all the point defenses on the outside. It's pretty safe. Another great attack by Fu. Alright, and that's the last replay that we're going to show. And here I will just go over the stats really quick from the war. Pretty good war. We got just about all of our attacks in. We usually get all of them, but this time it's alright. So, big number of 3 stars, a couple 2 stars, and a few 1 stars that we left behind. Pretty good ratio that we're happy about. We won by 2. Good job, everyone.